Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I am Paul Finkelstein with my online meetandgreet.com, where I interview local professionals, performers, and sometimes nationals sneak in there as well. Today, we do have a very unique and special guest. Her name is Frannie Sheridan, all the way from Ottawa, Canada, and she is local here in the Southeast Florida. Maybe just say a quick hello, Frannie, before I do the rest of your introduction. How are you?
I'm honored to be on your show. So nice to connect with you, Paul.
Finally, it is, because it's amazing how we meet people by thin threads, especially online, whether it's Alignable, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and all the rest. We do have a 1-minute video from YouTube that you gave me of you interviewing, or rather emceeing some musicians. And it shows your signature stick that includes a hybrid stand-up and some stress management. And who couldn't use some stress management these days? The information overload, the internet, and the news that's coming out everywhere, and all four sides coming at us. The video opens up as Frannie chats with a person in the crowd who is going crazy for ice cream. And because it's a perfect segue as a bit about chocolate, and who doesn't like chocolate? So let's go to that video clip and share that with you guys. If I could just find that on my screen here. Usually it just pops up. Okay. And now you can see all of my screen, and we'll just flood the whole screen with Frannie's video. Here she is. As soon as it plays in just a second, I want to hear the audio too. If you don't hear the
Sometimes
audio,
I need encouragement.
just in case you don't hear the audio, it is 5.
Most of us have, we have like naughty little indulgences, am I right? Yeah, I know partly. Not calling out or not, but well, no, but simpatico, because I happen to like the chocolate. Any chocoholics in the house? Yeah, my people. So sometimes I'll just be around, do my thing, stuff in my face. And you ever have this happen? And people will walk up to you and be like, "Oh, Frannie, you're looking a little fluffy, right?" So I'm like, you know what? Sorry, I am looking a little fluffy. You're absolutely correct. I really have to get rid of my little problem. It's an issue. You're 100% accurate. Usually, that will get rid of the problem. Them.
So you heard that, right?
Mm-hmm.
The volume came in pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
As I shared my screen, sometimes you might have caught some of the alerts that I'm trying to go away from my screen.
No, I'm not alerted.
Great. I just unshared. I'll just put your video off to the side. And
Sure.
Let's dive into Frannie. One question that comes to mind here is, why have you chosen to work as a humorist who shares stress management tips as part of her jokes, as opposed to, say, a nightclub comic? And what's the difference?
Well, I have worked as a nightclub comic, and it's fun. It's just, it has a little bit more of a ferocity to it, you know what I mean? And you can get edgier, certainly, depending on the crowd, usually, in a nightclub. I mean, I toured with Yuck Yucks, which is like the Canadian Improv on the West Coast. Oh, you are? Okay. So I actually have worked for them, as an opening act and different things over the years. And I did a one-woman show across Canada in 1995, which was an irreverent feminist show. So I have worked as like your traditional stand-up, and it's great. It's just what I'm doing here is partnering stress management within my shtick. So it's not like super preachy, although I also work as a speaker. So I have different combinations of presentation that I offer. And, it's clean what I'm doing. And it is vetted for each audience. So each booker takes a look at my script and decides what is or isn't appropriate for the crowd. So, you don't want to, it's about fun. This is about lifting people. And so it's different crowds. And also, Paul, just to complete that answer, I am a author of a memoir, which is being traditionally published and released by a fabulous Canadian publisher called Mosaic, 42 years in business, international distribution in like London, Guadalajara, and Frankfurt, and etc. So my memoir is coming up. So I'm going to partner my humorist act and speaking wherever it's applicable together with the memoir to sell books. It's a nice marriage.
Excellent. Now, you received 2 mayoral proclamations. Just saying that word sounds important. For your solo show, Confessions of a Jewish Shiksa.
Right.
Which you performed internationally and was produced at the Kravis Center a few years back. Are you still performing that show? And if not, what are you doing with this powerful story?
Well, okay, so encapsulated, the answer is no. I'm no longer performing that show. It was fabulous. It's mostly a dramatic story, Paul, about, my parents happened to be Jewish Holocaust survivors and I was raised Catholic. So it's about my coming into my Jewish identity and everything that led up to it. And there's a lot of humor interwoven because I'm a humorist, but you can't, nor would I want to diminish the story for the purpose of just getting laughs. And so it was great. It was super, super therapeutic for years. I performed an earlier version called The Waltonsteins in Canada, which is a published play. But it got to the point where it was like, it wasn't serving me. It was time to move on and go back to performing humor. And so I turned it into a memoir, and I'm super, super appreciative that I attracted this wonderful publisher. I can't say enough good things about him. He really works with artists, just terrific. And so, no, I'm no longer performing the story. I do work as a speaker, and I don't go into the story as much as talk about my journey now. So the play was really about my family, and now my work is really about my journey, which is essentially, there's a little bit about my family story in my memoir, but it's mostly about my journey out of inherited post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, which affects a lot of people who have been through, wars and different kinds of, violent acts and so forth. And often the children of those people through epigenetics inherit. And also, it's environmental. It's many different things. So it's really about my journey out of inherited PTSD into humor and joy. And that is what my book is about. But now it's like, let the people read the book. And by the way, my publisher pitched it, and there's significant interest from a film production company, apparently. And so it's better for me, and it's better for everyone else, I think, to lift them now. I did it. It was a great journey. It helped to heal members of my family, et cetera, because we were all in hiding about our identity. And, when you're closeted, whatever it is, whether you're, closeted about being Jewish, closeted about being gay, closeted about being a chocolate addict, it's important to come out of the cocoa, or either the cocoa cupboard or the knish cupboard, whatever it is. And I did it, move on. I'm having fun, being playful and silly, and through my humor, sharing what is some silly and some, silly, but still it's a way of looking at the world, right? Like we can either look at the solution or the problem. And so my comedy is very solution oriented. And just to further answer your first question, it's not scathing. Like I'm not attacking people, and I totally get, and I've done, I've experimented with that humor. It's just really not who I am. It doesn't bring me joy. So as much as I respect everybody's comedy, and that comedy can be quite a political vehicle for change and for progress, and mine is in a sense, but it's sort of a softer approach. Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm really enjoying listening to you telling your story, and it's so hard for me not to smile knowing that you're a humorist. At the same time, I think that humor is something that obviously makes you stronger. Having to humor to survive so many things, humor is definitely an important part of life in general, too.
For all of us, we all have our stories.
You and your husband are dessert reviewers, I hear, and
Have a popular dessert vlog published every month
around Wellington Magazine. And I know you were featured as dessert reviewers on a slew of Fox TV commercials for Azteel air conditioning. And one was the broadcast in the middle of a Kentucky Derby, no less, and also recently worked as a dessert judges at the Boca Dessert Battle, which was a huge turnout of like 2,000 people. But what led you to work as dessert reviewers, and what's next for you?
To be completely honest, it's just a very thinly veiled excuse to overeat dessert, Paul. I mean, honestly. Really, my husband and my dad was Viennese. My mother was from Bremen, Germany. So they were Eastern European dessert junkies. So I grew up with this, like the cheesecake gene. I mean, I'm like a snob around desserts. Not that our vlog is Siskel and Ebert-ish. Like we never say anything negative. We only focus on the positive because it's about joie de vivre. It's about fun. It's about couples having fun and being silly and playful. And that's what makes it popular too. It's so, and my husband, who's Israeli American, he grew up with a lot of beautiful bakeries in Israel, like Eastern European. And so we both are, it's part of what, it should have been on our dating profile because it would have been a quicker fix. But, or a quicker connection wasn't fixed. But so, and so he's so passionate and he's Sephardic and he just, he talks about chocolate. And I saw that one day and, I know, we had again we lined up with, and very appreciative, Whole Foods sponsored what was it? A television pilot. Oh, are you still there? Paul, you've disappeared. Oh, are you still there? No, I can't hear you now.
I'm here. I just have to quiet my birds.
I thought, is this your way of shutting me up? Am I being too long-winded?
No, I didn't mean that at all. Sorry to be.
Story of my life.
I tried to do it nonchalantly, but I'm enjoying listening to your dessert story as well. It made me so hungry I had to go get some chocolate.
That is the goal. It's all about, inspiring overeating. But yeah, so anyway, so Whole Foods sponsored a TV pilot that I pitched them maybe 5 years ago. It's online too. And it was great. And they shot it in their kitchen in Palm Beach Gardens, which, is only about 30 minutes from where I live anyway. And we live in West Palm on the Intracoastal here. And so, and that one thing led to the next. And I just thought, what, we have to, it didn't get picked up. They loved it. They loved the entertainment value, humor, but it's timing sometimes. And so we just are both such, so passionate about dessert. It was like a natural next step. And we have a blast. And we, help to promote businesses. They bring us in and we shoot it in our own little studio and it's published in around Mount Wellington Magazine. And so it's super fun. What can I say? And we also have another Canadian American, actually, television project that's in development that's associated with it. And, some amazing things has happened so what my suggestion is, follow your obsession with something yummy, whatever it is, food, humor, because what this led to is, I'm sure you're familiar with, with rather Yuck Yucks, as we talked about before. And so Mark Breslin happens to be the owner of 15 Yuck Yucks, which is like the Canadian improv chain, and he's involved now in a television show concept, which is a Canadian American idea to bring together desserts and humor and comedians and all this kind of stuff. And we had the incredible, another wonderful thing happen, which is the executive producer of Everybody Loves Raymond, who is on the Netflix TV series, Somebody Feed Phil, who's Phil Rosenthal, touted our vlog all over Facebook. So, and we got to meet him in Miami recently. One thing led to the next. So all I can say is, yay, chocolate.
Excellent. Now, here's a totally different question from everything we've been talking about, and that's if you could go back and say one thing to your much younger self, what would it be?
Be kinder to yourself. Be kinder. Really, that if I knew on a very serious level that the most important thing that I could do for myself and for everyone around me was to be kinder to myself, would be to not care about what people I didn't respect thought of me. Because you know what, Paul? It is absolutely factual that, palliative care workers have documented that at the end of their lives, the biggest regret people have is that they wished they hadn't cared so much what other people think of them. They would have done so much more with their lives. And so being kinder to myself means caring more about what I feel than what anyone else feels. And certainly as a humorist, you need to have that kind of stability because audiences can be fickle. Luckily I have, a really pretty great track record with reception, but, and the other thing about not being in a club is you don't have as many people, blot out from alcohol. So it's a different kind of vibe. But honestly, being kinder to myself. And that, of course, leads to being less judgmental and kinder. We all judge, but in a, kindness. Yeah.
As they say, kindness does matter.
Mm-hmm.
So today, as a recap, what we've been talking about, we learned a lot about why Frannie chose to work as a humorist and shared some stress management tips along the way. We learned about her mayoral proclamations, her confessions of a Jewish shiksa performances, and the Kravis Center experiences, what she's working on now to share her story. A book's coming out. We learned that her and her husband are dessert reviewers and becoming quite the experts about that. And we also learned that if she would have changed one thing about herself, and if she can go back and tell her much younger self something, she would be kinder to herself. This has been Paul Finkelstein with myonlinemeetandgreet.com with Frannie Sheridan all the way from Ottawa, Canada, down here full-time now in Southeast Florida. And if anybody wants to reach out to you and find out more information about your book, your dessert reviews, do you want to leave a phone number a couple of times so they can hear it?
Only if they
email or a website.
Only if they come bringing chocolate. No, it's my name. I'll spell it Frannie, S as in Sam, HERIDAN.com. My website has contact form on it. I'm certainly thrilled about spreading fun and lightness and all that. And I wouldn't be down here, Paul, if not for, Arthur Hiller, who directed Love Story, aligned with my work many years ago. He was attached to direct a multicast screenplay I wrote. And I have to, even though he's no longer with us on planet Earth in physical form, he really is what motivated me to move down from freezing cold Canada to the States. And I lived in LA for a bit and worked with him and stuff. And so he really gets the credit for inspiring me and believing in me to move ahead and do this. And so that's the whole thing. I welcome any kind of communication as long as it's funny.
That is a good prerequisite. And one last thought. I remember you said that people from the Ottawa area didn't know what warm was until they moved here. So glad to have you on my show. And
Thank you so much. This has been really nice. I'm so happy to connect with you. And I really appreciate the opportunity, Paul.
Look forward to it after the video converts here from our Zoom platform.
Sure.
I'll upload it to my personal Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And of course,
Thank you so much.
Natural audio-visual copy too that you are welcome to share. Great to meet you as well.
Perfect.
This is actually one way I love to meet with people, that if you don't have time to have so many appointments where you have to constantly go to a physical place like a cup of coffee at Dunkin' or Starbucks or Panera Bread. It's always
Right.
And I can't buy you a cup of coffee in this virtual spirit, but my way to buy you that cup of coffee is to give you a copy of this experience. And
Very
I think that
nice.
would last way longer than a cup of coffee. That coffee will get cold and long done, and this video will live on practically forever, especially if it's on YouTube, right? I will stop the recording now. Thanks, everybody. Ciao for now. If you want to also be interviewed, just go to onlinemeetandgreet.com.